Hello there, and welcome to Pikmin. My name is Eric, I call myself Demon Alchemist. And obviously, this Let's Play is lining up with the release of Pikmin 4. Of course. I have been playing that for a while, I've been sort of coy and not coy at the same time about it. But I just want to briefly say, the Pikmin series is one of my favorite franchises. I've been a fan for almost 10 years now. Actively a fan. I played it before then, and I am very excited to start here. Obviously with Pikmin 1. Let's go! The impact site. My name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out and I woke on the surface of a weird planet. With so many parts lost, the skeletal hull of my beloved dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then, no! Better not to think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. Here we are with Pikmin 1. I did not prepare a scripted intro this time, because I am running low on time. I hope you'll forgive me for that. I have recovered 0 out of 30 ship parts. Just one more part will increase the Dolphin's capabilities. Oh, I love seeing the SS Dolphin. It feels so rude to say that I love seeing it in this state, but I kind of do. Unfortunately, we can't zoom out the camera currently. First, a strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion too. I love the red onion. It's interesting that these pellets are a bit translucent. I think they are in the original version and the Wii version as well, but I feel like they're more translucent here. Not sure though, it's been a while since I played those versions. Obviously this is the Switch version, and in fact I want to turn on motion controls. They are quite convenient, and I'm gonna be using them in 4, so I want to practice with them. The seed that the onion dropped took root in the soil and has now produced an adorable little sprout. This sprout emits a strange light, and it sways back and forth without benefit of wind. I cannot help but think it is calling to me. I am compelled. I must approach it and press A. As would I, Olimar. Extraordinary, or extraordinary. When I plucked the sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. Picking it has done no visible damage, it just stands there, staring at me. Its shape is similar to the Pick brand carrots I love so much. I believe I shall call it a Pikmin. It has always annoyed me that he says, a living creature, not a plant. Like, I guess plants aren't creatures, but they are alive. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting to survive, and yet I'm intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall try to grab it and throw it with A, and I will call it to my side with B. Perhaps it will react to pressing X or moving R while holding L as well. The following controls appear to allow me several viewpoints. ZL, snap camera behind Olimar. R left right, rotate camera, ZR zoom. R up down, change perspective. Yeah, we can now mess with the camera because he points them out. I must survive. I need to familiarize myself with these controls and my surroundings. Pikmin! I never play that close. I usually do the middle one, or it is usually the most outer one I do. As he said, we can throw Pikmin. B is a whistle. Astonishing! The onion has sown more seeds. The small red pellet the Pikmin harvested after cutting down a flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be a sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. You kind of already said that, Olimar. B is a whistle. It will interrupt Pikmin from their activities. We're rephrasing that. You can hold A to pluck all nearby sprouts. He'll point it out in a sec. In the previous 2 versions, you had to mash A to do it. Unlike the sequels to this game, the Pikmin take quite a while to sprout. They still take some time in 2, but it's lowered, and in 3, it's instant. And 4, it's also instant. I gotta think about 4. Alright, now that we got 5 Pikmin, there's a few things we can grab. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this first, one of the easiest pellets to miss. It's possible to raise 25 Pikmin on this day. You only need to raise 20, for reasons that we'll get to shortly. But I recommend raising 25. And if you want to start with flower Pikmin, you can leave them buried in the ground, and they will mature. And that's convenient, but not necessary. I don't think it's worth the wait, usually. Especially because it's not hard to flower them on the next day. This day, unlike every other day in the game, has no time limit, which is why you can just let them sit if you want to, with no penalty. There's a specific objective we need to complete on this day to progress, unsurprisingly. I keep trying to mash, I can just hold. I was playing fangames recently, which I guess would be why I'm thinking of the GameCube version. Because it seems like all fangames are based specifically on the GameCube version. Even though I think I generally prefer the Wii version. But that's hard to say. The GameCube and Wii version both have substantial advantages and disadvantages. And I will talk about it over time as it's relevant. An interesting change in this version is that the fractions are actually fractions. In previous versions, the minimum necessary carry amount was on top, and the number carrying was on bottom, which is just obviously not how fractions work. Obviously, the Pikmin can carry things to the onion, which grows more Pikmin, as he said. And I do apologize, there will be lots of dialogue early on here. Like, he's about to interrupt me right now, I think. Right? No? Okay. I'm wrong. It forces the camera to zoom in when you're under the onion. Sometimes? I don't think it always happens. It might only be on this first day. I'm not sure. Obviously, this box is a thing we can interact with. We needed to grow 10 Pikmin, and we were able to grow, what, 14? The Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of Pikmin conduct. Approach and hold A to pick sprouts. Press A to grab Pikmin, release to throw. Press B to call them, X to dismiss. Move the right stick while holding L to command and control the group. Use ZL or up, down, left, and right on R to control my perspective. I shall record this on my computer and access it with plus. Unlike both other versions of this game, you do have full camera control, which is very nice. I don't think it's necessary, and I actually wish there were more control options. Because I'd actually very much like to make the right stick function like the C stick in the GameCube version. Because the way it works here is you can hold L to direct your squad. It has the visible arrows from the Wii version, but you control it with a stick like the GameCube version. In general, this game is a sort of best of both worlds situation, which is what I was hoping for, so I'm pretty happy with it. There are a few things that I wish were a little different, and that's one of them. The controls. The controls work really well, and you get used to it. But I just think it's more convenient to have the swarming always at the ready without having to press a button. I think the camera is less useful, mostly because I'm used to not having full camera control. When many Pikmin seeds sprout at once, I find it rather tedious to pluck them from the ground individually. My wife always told me I was no good at routine tasks. I guess I'll try to get it all done at once by holding A until I pick all the Pikmin from the ground. I've noticed that when I add Pikmin to my group, they become filled with excitement and flushed with bright color. At other times, they revert to a paler hue and give off a dim glow. Paying close attention to these differences is bound to help me distinguish between Pikmin. I do want to read all the text. I know that's a bit unnecessary, and a lot of it's really obvious, especially if you have any familiarity with the series. Also, sorry, it's when you're plucking Pikmin the camera goes in. It's not specifically when you're under the onion. Yeah. I just played through this game recently, so I don't know why I'm forgetting things. And in fact, I played through half of it very recently, because my girlfriend and I played it on stream in the co-op mode. Co-op mod, to be clear. There is no multiplayer in this game normally. I wish there were. I think it'd be really cool, although it would also make much less sense. I mainly want multiplayer in 2. Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me, but how will I get it back to the dolphin? I wonder, Olimar. X to dismiss, like he said. Also, I realized I want to come over here and point something out. We zoom out, we can see that. That is another ship part. Not one we can get today without using glitches that I don't know how to do. I like that we can go inside this box, though there's currently nothing in there. It's a little weird, by the way, that some Pikmin sometimes Pikmin stay pale even when they're actively doing something, which isn't how it's supposed to work. Ugh, I love how messed up our ship is. Each time we reach a threshold, like it says... Can I not talk to it again? Okay. Does the camera have to be facing it? If so, that's weird. Each time we reach a threshold like this, just one more part, the ship will be improved and allow us to access a new area. I suppose I'm spoiling things very briefly ahead of the reveal, but it's fine. Oh, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back toward home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. But what has become of the damaged... What has become of the more... Oh my god! But what has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. I like that you can see the Pikmin are going back to their onion right now, because... Day ends. As soon as you bring the engine back, the day ends. Normally it'll end at the end of the day. Days are about 13 minutes in this game. I can actually check the exact length, because it does vary a little bit between games. I believe in this game it is exactly 13 minutes. By the way, if you want any information about Pikmin, I highly recommend the Pikipedia, or PikminWiki.com. It's the same thing, that's the name and that's the URL. It's interesting we don't see any enemies here, because I guess there were none there during the day. One day since impact. I have somehow managed to launch the dolphin, but I was surprised to see the onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface, or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. They will indeed. The dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hokotate. Analysis shows life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the keys to my survival, I'll name it the Forest of Hope. I'll explore it tomorrow. You don't have to. You can go back to the impact site, but there's nothing more you can do there right now. Except, I think, grow more Pikmin. And I want to quickly address this, because otherwise I'll forget. I have always said Hokotate for the planet, but I recently looked up the hiragana for the name in Japanese, and it is indeed Hokotate. But the company Olimar works for is called Hokotate Freight, and Hokotate Freight sounds so much better, but I am actively trying to rewrite my memory on that. Or rewrite my... I don't know. My knowledge of that. That way I can say it correctly. This is the results screen. Pikmin population. Clay 1. It says day 1, but it looks like it says Clay 1. It shows today's change in Pikmin population. Obviously, it just went up. There's no enemies in this area. There's no way to lose Pikmin today. The ways you can lose Pikmin, though, are lost in battle and left behind. Any way that a Pikmin dies will count as lost in battle, even if they're not fighting an enemy. Unless you don't have them whistled back before the end of a day, which we'll get to that. 25 is the max you can sprout today. You can see my red population there, number of ship parts we have, parts remaining, and days remaining. I'm being way overly descriptive. But that's just kind of how I feel right now. I was worried that day would take substantially longer than a normal day, but it really didn't. It took about the same amount of time. And we are. We could go back to the impact site, but like I said, nothing worthwhile to do there right now. Let's go to the Forest of Hope. Land in this region? Yes. The Forest of Hope. I love the music in this area. I love all the music in this game. There's not a ton of it, although there are a bunch of variations, actually, because what you're doing affects the music. My dolphin has returned to the surface along with the Pikmin's onion. Being alone on this strange planet makes me somewhat uneasy, so I shall call the Pikmin out of the onion. All I need to do is stand in the light beneath the onion and press A. Yes, any Pikmin that are in the onion can be called out by doing that. But a very minor oversight that has always annoyed me and has never been fixed in any version, oh my god, get up there, is when you open the onion menu, Olimar keeps moving for a second, but the light on his helmet detaches. Because it doesn't keep moving. Also not animated like his is. You see it? Ugh, I'm not gonna repeatedly do it because bringing that screen up over and over again is annoying. There's grass here that we can pluck to get nectar, which will flower our Pikmin. Another intriguing discovery. A local variety of grass produces a sort of yellow nectar. When the Pikmin drink this delicacy, they instantly mature into flowers. This apparent Pikmin favorite seems to be full of nutrition. Closer observation is needed to determine the strengths and peculiarities of these flower Pikmin. They're better. That's the main point, is that they're better. You want them to be flowered. There are certain enemy attacks that have a chance, in fact, almost all enemy attacks, have a chance to deflower your Pikmin, if you want to use that term. I usually do, because I think it's kind of funny. But you could also just say withered, if you want to. Flower Pikmin will stay at the front of your party normally. They move faster. I've heard conflicting evidence on whether or not they complete tasks more quickly or do more damage. I don't think they do. I think they just move faster. I already have all 28 flowers, so there's nothing more we can do except break this wall. There was something else I was going to say. For one, we can talk to the SS Dolphin at any time. I have recovered 1 out of 30 ship parts. Just 4 more parts will increase the Dolphin's capabilities. While confirming the ship's status, I have taken the opportunity to repair my spacesuit. Whenever you take damage, you can come back here and heal up. You cannot do that in Pikmin 2. Although I think you might heal between floors in Pikmin 2. In caves. Not going to talk too much about Pikmin 2. Although I will probably a little bit, because I'm not going to be Let's Playing it anytime soon. But... oh, I should have left some flower Pikmin as leaves, because a new feature added in the Wii version that is retained here is the ability to select between Pikmin maturities. You can hold a Pikmin and press X to switch between flower, leaf, and bud. We haven't seen buds yet, but if Pikmin stay in the ground, they will mature naturally without nectar, and they'll become buds and then leaves. Or buds and then flowers. This is a Dwarf Red Bulborb, or in this game, just Dwarf Bulborb. It will eat Pikmin if you give it a chance, but if you just throw Pikmin on top of it, it will die instantly. This version, by the way, is in general based on the Wii version. Despite the reticle being very clearly GameCube, and a few other things, it is based on the Wii version. I initially assumed it was based on GameCube because of the reticle and the other things. But I am incorrect. Which is very nice, because the Wii version is generally very nice. The main issue is it introduces some unfortunate glitches, which are, as far as I'm aware, all removed now. And I was wrong. Plucking Pikmin always brings you in, I think. I just wasn't sure because it doesn't always do that in the co-op mod, because of weirdness of having 2 player characters. I do recommend that co-op mod, by the way. It's by Mr. Broccoli. It's really good. Highly recommended. It functions surprisingly well, despite some minor issues. But now that we have some leaf Pikmin, I can demonstrate switching between maturation. There you go. That's all it is. The icon also shows a difference. It doesn't in Pikmin 3, which kind of annoys me. For the most part, Pikmin 3 has more quality of life features, but it does have some downgrades in that way. We lose Pikmin? No. Still not yet lost a Pikmin. We will. There's no way I'm going to get through this whole game without losing Pikmin. I never do. And I don't expect to. It's difficult. It takes real effort and care, unless you just want to reset often. Because you can always reset a day if you have issues. And I don't have an issue with that. I will not be doing that in this series, though. I've never, actively been like, I'm not going to reset. So I'm a little worried, but it'll probably be fine. I usually beat this game in about 15 days. As Olimar said, you have a 30-day time limit. You have to complete it in that time. Though you don't necessarily have to get all 30 ship parts to escape. But that really is the victory condition. The thing I was going to mention earlier that I forgot about was I want to talk about the structure for the series, because you might have noticed that I'm not doing 1 day per video, which is what Sugar Conroy and I believe Attacking Toucans did for their Let's Plays of this game. And that's because that's really short. That's just 13 minutes. I could just upload videos really often, like 2 a day or 3 a day, but I'll just do 3 days per video. Since days are 13 minutes long, that means every video will be 36 minutes plus cutscenes and menus. Oh, I didn't even notice I still had 1 sprout left. Very nice. I hate the camera moving in, but it's okay. Let's go. We now have lots of Pikmin, though they are almost all leaves. It is possible for a single Pikmin to drink an entire thing of nectar. So you really want to get as many as possible on it. I'm not sure what the maximum number is. It's 15 in Pikmin 4, but I'm not sure about here. I think it's higher in here. It definitely feels higher in 2. Why, it's the Eternal Fuel Dynamo. It has an unlimited energy supply. I won't have to worry about saving electricity anymore. This will make my fight for survival a bit easier. This requires 40 Pikmin to carry. Obviously, we have 78, so we got plenty. I could try to fight this enemy, but I don't recommend doing that until you have... I don't recommend doing that unless you have at least, 40 or 50 Pikmin. And even then, I'd rather have more. The way to fight them is not entirely reliable. I'm sure it is if you know more about how it works. But the strategy that I use is bum rushing. You use the swarm to gather your Pikmin in a tighter formation, and then run up on them. Swarming is very useful for a lot of things other than just putting Pikmin on resources. Or tasks. Eternal Fuel Dynamo. This should light things up. No more candles for me. That's a weird reading of that line. 2 parts. If I can find just 3 more, can increase the ship's capabilities. We'll see that every time we bring a treasure. I think. They're not treasures. Sorry. Ship parts. Can you tell I've been playing all of the games and I'm getting confused about terminology? At least I didn't say fruits. But, I could work on this door or wall, but I'm going to kill him first. Swarming is very useful for managing the size of your group. You can get it small and tight, and then run up on him. And assuming you have a decent number of Pikmin, you'll almost certainly kill him quite easily. Hit this. Just one of you, please. Yeah. And the rest of you will be working on this wall. This is a real-time strategy game. I suppose it's a little weird to not mention that until now, but it is. So managing your time is an important thing. My clock has indicated the coming of noon. From now on, I must pay close attention to the sun meter on my monitor and choose my actions accordingly. So it is best for me to review my monitor's data. Across the top of my monitor are the sun meter and day display. At the bottom, my spacesuit damage meter and Pikmin gauges. From the left, these numbers reflect Pikmin under my command, Pikmin in the field, and total Pikmin, including those and onions. That last number is not very useful, unless you're doing a minimum Pikmin run. To adjust my monitor, I can move R to rotate the camera, press ZR to zoom, and move down on R to look down from above. I can also press plus to view a detailed computer analysis. Yes, right now all we can see is Pikmin in our group, Pikmin and the onions, number that are free, and ship parts. Obviously the right side there will do something soon. And then we also have this screen, which normally you wouldn't. We can press minus to open this screen. We can go to sunset immediately, continue from previous save, which is a new feature added in the Wii version, by the way. GameCube version can't do that. Although, I think I'm actually going to hold off on breaking this wall. I think I want to do something else first. I make no promises about how quickly I will finish this. Usually I finish in about 15 days, like I said. That is my record, I think. Maybe I've been in 14 or 13. Not lower than that, though. This will probably be a little less smooth than normal, since I'm worrying about talking and explaining things. But I'll probably do okay. But I don't make promises that I'll be super efficient. Because I don't usually stress too much about efficiency in this game. If you know how to play the game, and are decently used to the mechanics, it's not hard to finish it in 30 days. When those two things are not the case, it can be very hard. Anyone that tries this game out, I would highly stress to try very hard to not be discouraged if you fail the first time. Because I think basically everyone does. I didn't actually finish my first run. I got 18 days in, I had barely any Pikmin, and I had fewer than 18 ship parts. And I was like, this isn't working. So I gave up. And it wasn't until I played Pikmin 3 and fell in love with that I came back and gave it a real chance and didn't have too much trouble. It's the shock absorber. This apparatus counteracts the shaking and swaying that normally occurs during flight. It's smooth sailing with this in place, usually. I like that you can get a little description of the ship parts. Ooh, I actually forgot a thing. I apologize I didn't show that. You can actually go to them again and get different dialogue. This nifty little device counteracts the shaking and swaying experience in typical spaceflight. I think most of them are actually just part of the original line, but I don't think that's always the case. I will try to look that up at some point, but probably not while editing this video, because I'll still be short on time. I'm going to go ahead and get some more nectar. Usually you want flower Pikmin to be working on grass, because otherwise, obviously, the leaf Pikmin will drink the nectar immediately. And so usually it goes to waste if you have leaf Pikmin working on it. I want to be careful not to get them over that edge, because it'd be very difficult to get them back from there. It'd be annoying, at least. Come on, come on. I want leaves! Is that it? Okay. Let's go! It'd be a bad idea to just throw them on that, because then they'll carry it past him and get hurt. You mentioned you can go from above like this. Makes it look more like a normal RTS. I was going to say a real RTS. That's what I said when I was playing. Oh, sometimes that happens. Sometimes they just don't attack for some reason, and I don't understand why. It does happen, though. Ugh, there's him biting. This is a red Bulborb, or actually in this game they're called Spotty Bulborbs. In Pikmin 3, they're just called Bulborbs for some reason. I think he'll give up after a while, even if we're nearby. Aw, come on, man. You don't want to fight them while they're awake. They're nocturnal predators, by the way. That's why they're asleep. You really want to bum rush them when they're awake. I'm just going to bait him over here, see if I can get him to fall asleep facing this direction. Come on, bro. Fall asleep. Thank you. He's going to fall asleep facing the other way. Oh, nice, nice. No, now he's going for the Pikmin. Come on, bro, fall asleep. I know I'm wasting a lot of time on this. I don't usually accomplish much more than what I have today. I usually do a little bit better, though, because I don't usually wake him up. No, no, no. Ow. God, the screen really freaks out. Ah, damn it, this is not gonna work. Oh, god damn it. It's fine. We're gonna lose Pikmin, and I'm not too worried about it right now. We lost, what, 4 Pikmin there? Were those ghosts red? Because in the GameCube version, all Pikmin's ghosts are blue. They don't show the color differences, but they do in the Wii version and every subsequent game. Basically, Pikmin 2 introduced a lot of quality of life features that then the Wii version of Pikmin 1 brought back. We'll see how many we lost there at the end. But that was rough. Usually I do play better than that. I don't intend to kill him today. I'm going to clear this space. And yeah, I'm going to break down that wall. Otherwise, though, that's all the ship parts we're going to get today. Which is really not great. There's so much more you can accomplish in this day. In fact, you can get every treasure. A world record speed run of this game, or the minimum day run anyway, beats the game only having visited every area once, except for the first area because you can't get that second part the first day. Shock Absorber, this nifty little device, counteracts the shaking and swaying experienced in typical spaceflight. That's the same description. 2 more to increase capabilities. I realized I said earlier that you could get that second ship part with a glitch. You can, but you still can't get both. When you collect a single treasure in the impact site, that ends the day, even if it's not the engine. So it is impossible, even with hacks. Actually, I'm not sure it's possible to get up there with glitches. You might need to hack the game to get up there. Now I'm not sure, but it's whatever. But even if you hack it, you can't get both, which is insane. I would say what the minimum days required to beat this game are, but that would spoil how many areas there are, so I won't. Not yet. By the way, there are 8 ship parts in this area. My clock is indicating the approach of sunset. Pikmin waiting beneath the dolphins and onions will probably enter the onions on their own, but if I don't call the stragglers and add them to my group, they may not be able to get back. I'm sure that the Pikmin still planted are safe, but I'm somewhat concerned about leaving Pikmin to fend for themselves in the darkness. Yeah, don't do that. Always make sure to have Pikmin in your squad or at base. And either one works, it doesn't matter. It is not clear what is considered the base. Pikmin 3 and 4 have a line, a circle that shows that, which is very nice. Tripping is a thing in 1 and 2. It happens randomly. The Pikmin can't do anything while they're tripped. You can actually run up to them and grab them, I think, to interrupt it early. I was reading about it on the wiki earlier. By the way, you can hold... How do you do it? Hold Y and press up and down to cycle in units of 10. I didn't know that was a thing, and I don't know if that's a thing in the previous versions, but I do know it's here. My girlfriend pointed out when I was watching her play, and I was like, oh, hurry, gather your Pikmin. I already did. I often like putting them away first before the end of the day, although I guess it makes the end of the day cutscene less interesting, so I'll pull them back out. But to be very careful about leaving Pikmin near base, because it's not obvious where the line is. I don't think it's right there, for instance. But just having them in your squad also works. I don't know why I'm being quiet. Normally I talk over this scene. I just was treating it like a cutscene. And it is technically a cutscene. And you can skip it. I probably won't most of the time. I usually do, because I'm impatient. But I like the idea of having a bit of cinematicness here. That's not a word I know. But I like that Olimar's just exposed. There is no canopy. And we can see the spotty Bulborbs yelling because they don't get food. 2 days since impact, it appears that many of my ship's parts have landed in this region. If I can just recover the parts of my radar, I should be able to use my radar screen. How that would improve my chances. Then I'd only have to press plus to locate my parts. Yet, there seem to be many hostile lifeforms here. If I'm attacked and my spacesuit takes damage, I must return to my ship, stand in front of it, and press A to make suit repairs. As I explore, I must pay attention to my suit's damage meter in the bottom left corner of the screen. It's not much of a concern. You shouldn't really be doing much fighting with Olimar. 6 is not bad. It is... You can lose a lot more than that pretty quickly to Bulborbs. I'm not too worried about that. It does mean we have less than 100 reds, but that's fine. We will get more. We'll get a lot more. At any time, you can press plus on this menu to look at your ship's log. What Olimar says is set on the early couple days, but for the most part, it is actually random, pulled within a set based on what happened that day. I probably won't show them all, because I think there are quite a few. But I'll show all the ones I get, obviously. I'm not going to be showing a lot of extra footage for this series. It's going to be pretty straightforward. This game is fairly simple. I realize we're already at 36 minutes because of all the cutscenes and dialogue and stuff. It's fine. Let's go with day 3. I am intentionally not going to get all of my reds out. I will get 60, though. Something that's a little annoying is that Pikmin will attack these sprouts. Oh, they don't. In the GameCube version, they will attack them. That will grow into a pellet posy. Oh, it doesn't matter. I have 60 flowers. I don't need nectar. Let's go. Yeah, they're growing into the pellet posies. After you break them, they'll grow back after a while. Enemies do respawn, but not immediately. I don't know. I was going to pause to see where Pikmin are, but I can't. I do not have the radar screen, as he mentioned. 60 should be plenty to fight this Bulborb. I believe the dwarf Bulborbs can awaken the big Bulborbs, but it is important to note that they're not babies. They're an entirely different species that are mimicking the big Bulborbs. They're pretending to be their young so they'll be protected by them, which I think is fascinating. There we go. That was actually way too close. Another onion? A yellow sprout? Surprised there wasn't a cutscene for that. Throwing Pikmin directly at a pellet posy's pellet will break it immediately. The color is different, but it seems to be a Pikmin nonetheless. Never the nonetheless. First glance suggests this one has what in some circles could be considered very large ears. It looks like it may weigh less than the others. In what other ways might it be different from the red Pikmin? I must be sure to observe it closely. I can hold a Pikmin for a moment with A, then swap it for another by pressing R. That is also a thing that's not in... That looks really weird with his hand poking through. That's also something that's not in the GameCube version. God damn it. They fly higher. As he said, they're lighter. I'm gonna leave my reds over here. Totally not dangerous at all. It's not. It feels like it would be, but it's not. I forgot there's Nectarweed up there. I never get that. Oh shit, that's right. Once they fail to do a task, they will return to you. Oh, I'm not doing great here. I'm just gonna put them over here, not at the thing, just right there. They're gonna like to get back into your party when I don't want them to. So I often just mash the dismiss button when I don't want them. I find that works quite well. I'm gonna go ahead and give not only the... I almost called them something else. Not only the pellet posies, but I'm also gonna give them the Bulborbs. Although again, dwarf Bulborb is an entirely different species, entirely different family even. It's a bread bug. We'll get to the families and taxonomy of the enemies much later. It's not very prominent in this game. It's more prominent in the next game, because you actually have, like, a bestiary of enemies, and I love that. Yellow Pikmin have only one other feature. They have more in later games, but in this game, they're just lighter. They just go higher, and one other thing. And in fact, it was going to be that they just go higher. The other thing they have was going to be true of all Pikmin. But I believe they realized in development that yellow Pikmin were kind of useless. And so they added this as an exclusive thing to them. I wonder if it's possible to mod it in so that everyone can do it. The thing they can do, by the way, is pick these things up. Notice the bomb rock in the cutscene is smaller than outside the cutscene. That's because in the GameCube version, they were smaller. They were made bigger in the Wii version and retained that here. The yellow Pikmin have picked up some peculiar stones. Why did they decide to grab them? This action seems to be instinctive to the yellow Pikmin. But just what are these strange glowing stones? Brightly glowing cracks cover them. Perhaps these cracks indicate that there's tremendous power locked away within. This merits further research. In development, it was going to be the case that all Pikmin could pick up bomb rocks, but they changed it to give more utility to yellows. Which is a good idea, because they're still easily the least useful Pikmin type. Bomb rocks function quite differently between the Wii and GameCube versions. It functions exactly like the Wii version here, which actually has a couple downsides. The glowing rocks the yellow Pikmin picked up seem to be explosive stones. Perhaps they know that these stones can be used as powerful weapons. The bomb rocks are dangerous, so I must take care when using them. But they should be able to blast open the stone walls to block the pathways. I may even be able to use them against some of the wild creatures. I must be vigilant. When I throw bomb rock carrying Pikmin and give them orders, they will toss their bomb rocks at nearby walls or obstacles. And to give them orders is weird there. The explosive power of the bomb rocks is tremendous, so I must keep my distance. Basically, in the GameCube version, if you throw a Pikmin with a bomb rock, it will stay still, and then if you whistle it, it will drop the bomb rock and run back to you. That is the main way you use bomb rocks in the GameCube version. And because of that, oftentimes you can whistle them without thinking and kill lots of Pikmin. So in the Wii version, they changed it. Because in the GameCube version, you have to physically touch a Pikmin to add it to your squad if it has a bomb rock, if it's been thrown. If it's dismissed, you can whistle it just fine. But in the Wii version, they changed it so the Pikmin intelligently use the bombs. If you throw them and they're near something they can use a bomb on, they will. They'll throw it or drop it, depending on the circumstances. And that actually makes something way later much harder than in the GameCube version. I didn't mean to throw them that far. You can actually whistle the bomb rocks early to stop them. It's basically the exact opposite of the way it works in the GameCube version. And I will not be showing the GameCube version here. I probably, should, but I don't want to. If you're far enough away, they won't go to you after they finish the task. I'm gonna go ahead and use a bomb rock here to kill them. Okay, I was like, you gonna get yourself killed? No. And I'm gonna throw two over here. 3, actually. Now I only have 2 rocks. I'm gonna try to be a little smarter than that. Oh, that's fine. Lost a yellow, but killed him, so... And damaged that wall a little bit. It's fine. We'll get to the rest of that. Oh, it does suck, though, to lose a yellow Pikmin this early. We're at 32 yellows now. We would be at 33 if I was a little less stupid. I'm gonna have to delay editing this video, because the reason why I'm under a time constraint right now is Pikmin 4 comes out in just an hour and 10 minutes. And while I love to say, oh, I'll wait, I don't want to wait. I'm gonna have to edit this video, I don't know, during the day? We'll see. These are female shear grubs. They cannot harm you. They will die very quickly to Pikmin and they can't harm them. Purple ones are males and they can. You can instantly kill shear grubs by throwing Pikmin on top of them. And for the males, that's what you want to do. The gyro controls are very helpful for that. Makes it much easier to aim. I don't think there's any more males. I specifically recommend not using bomb rocks on the wall by base. Because if you do, then Pikmin will carry things through this area where there's currently enemies. And I have lost lots of Pikmin that way early on because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, the tripping can be really annoying if you're trying to run away from enemies. So what I'm going to do right now is grow more yellows. I will also grab bomb rocks. I think I just need 7 more. I think there are 7 over here. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's more bomb rocks in there. No? Okay. Ugh, they give you exactly 9. So I'm actually gonna go... I know I'm being really inefficient. That's just how it goes. I'm gonna grab 1 more bomb rock from over here. After today, the yellow onion will join the red onion at our base. We won't have to worry about, like, having to make the trek all the way over here. It's just for today. God, they're so slow because they're leaves. Ugh, in Pikmin 3, Leaf Pikmin move much faster. And even more so in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Leaf Pikmin move at almost the exact same speed as flowers, so it barely matters. Usually I do 2 at a time. If you do 3, usually the 3rd one will run away. Make sure not to accidentally throw other Pikmin. Unlike Pikmin 3 and 4, you're not locked into whatever Pikmin type you have selected. You will throw whatever... Oh, shit, what? Oh, did I only use 1 bomb against him? Ah, so inefficient. Oh, I'm not doing great here. Also, in the GameCube version, the color of the fraction would not show what onion they're going to. It would just always be red and blue. That's another thing added in Pikmin 2 that was re-added into the Wii version, which is awesome. Okay. I am going to go get more bomb rocks. Oh, we're getting so many yellows, though. This is nice. This is more yellows than I usually get on this day. I have made yet another Pikmin-related discovery. Just when I was about to exceed 100 Pikmin in the field, the onion stopped expelling seeds. Yet the total number of Pikmin continued to climb. It seems that once there are 100 Pikmin in the field, subsequent seeds get stored inside the onion. Thus, no more than 100 Pikmin can be in the field at one time in any area. Yes, that is entirely true. Obviously, everything Olimar says is true. That bomb rock line is worded a little weirdly because it's changed from the GameCube version. Almost all the text is exactly the same from GameCube to Wii, and from Wii here. But that is one that's changed because it is important that it's changed. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go and just grab all my Pikmin. I'll be careful with the bomb rocks. I want to get 2 ship parts today. More than that would be nice, but I don't know if that's happening. I don't know how many bomb rocks are in there. That's it, apparently. Okay. Are they on the other side? They're on the other side. Oh, it's so weird. It's intangible. Or there's no... I don't know how to say that. It's not translucent. It's not transparent. Pikmin show through it. It's weird. It's just darkness. It's not an actual, like, plane. Although that does block you from going through, so I guess it depends what you mean by plane. Despite this being high up, I always assume you need yellows. You don't. Reds can get it just fine. Obviously, I'm getting more bomb rocks, that way I can blow up the walls near base. Wall near base. We need 3 for that, so I'm going to be very careful not to waste. It's the Extraordinary Bolt. I bought this incredible bolt because the salesman told me it is of extraordinary quality that is indiscernible to the average person. Exactly what makes it so extraordinary is a secret. But just look at it. Extraordinary. This bolt holds the kind of value that only a true connoisseur can understand. I think that second line is actually the same as the one that will appear when you bring it to the ship, so I probably should stop reading it. I do want to break this wall now, but not until they make it back to the ship. I don't remember if Pikmin in this game will recalculate their path, because they will in later games if it becomes faster. Oh my god, I'm missing. It's actually quite difficult to... Oh, that was so close. It's actually quite difficult to nail a Pikmin exactly on their back. I'm just gonna wait, because I don't want to accidentally make them turn around. Although they shouldn't now, because this is no longer a faster path. So let's do it. Bomb Rock Pikmin count as a separate type. Although, again, if another Pikmin approaches you, they will become the type you're throwing. And that's really annoying, and I'm glad that's different in 3 and 4. There's a couple new features added in this version of the game. That's not one of them. Whimsical Radar. This important part can detect the locations of other missing parts. The radar will be added to my monitor, which I can press plus to view. I can scan with left stick or zoom with right stick. This will surely help me in my search for the remaining parts. I realized I didn't walk up to that piece. It's okay. We didn't miss anything super important. I also can now grab this. Well, no, because they're going to go through the enemies, so I want to fight them first. So there are ship parts that are oh my god. There are ship parts that are necessary to escape and ship parts that aren't necessary to escape. It doesn't make sense, but the Extraordinary Bolt is one of the necessary ones. I have recovered 5 out of 30 parts, increasing the Dolphin's capabilities. My search can now cover a wider area. Each time you do, there's another cutscene like this, where the ship improves itself a little bit. I love that music. Yeah, I want to pluck this. I do think it's worth it before I fight the enemies. It's totally reasonable to use Bomb Rock on the enemies. Usually I do, because usually I have 1 extra. Since I wasted 1, I don't. Okay, we have mostly flowers now. That's fine. Let's go. Do we have any leads, in fact? I don't think we do. Nice. Okay, I want to get to the other side. Also, a thing they do in the GameCube version is automatically attack pellets, the pellet posies. It's really annoying. Yellow Pikmin, by the way, do less damage than reds do. Reds do 1.5 times damage of the other Pikmin types in this game. I'm not necessarily going to say how many there are, though it's not hard to tell if you just look at the cover of the game. I haven't looked at the picture I'm going to use for the thumbnail yet, but it's going to be the cover probably. So, yeah. Anyway, I love you can still see the pupils of the Bulborbs. Their eyelids don't move, but the pupils do. They're animated, which is nice looking, but it's weird when you think about it. We're almost done with this day, and I'm honestly not sure we're going to accomplish anything else. There are no more bomb rocks that are easily accessible, so I guess I'll just start working on this wall. This is relatively effective first 3 days. I'm pretty happy that we at least got 5 ship parts. That's usually about what I accomplish in the first 3 days. Although usually I do the yellow Pikmin on the second day. By the way, as you mentioned, we now have a radar. We can look around to see where different ship parts are. Obviously, we got the ones that were over here. There's 1 over here, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Technically speaking, you're supposed to need blue Pikmin. Well, there we go. I was going to wait to say it, but it's too late now. Blue Pikmin are the other type. We will get them later. You're supposed to need them to get this part, and this part. It is technically possible to get all 3 without them, just very hard. But it's pretty easy to get this one and this one without them. So we will. That'll be the first thing we do on the next day. But that's about it for this day, so I'm just going to sort of chillax. I have had a lot more explaining to do than I expected, which is weird because there's so much explained in the cutscenes. But yeah. That's the 3rd day here. This is going to be almost an hour-long video, which I guess is fine. Lots of cutscenes at the beginning. First episode's usually long for a series. There will be way fewer cutscenes later. Unless I lose all my Pikmin and get a Pikmin extinction. That'll happen. It probably won't. I don't know if that's ever naturally happened to me. Maybe on my first playthrough. Olimar can attack. Doesn't do much damage, but you can kill posies pretty easy. It's usually about all I do with that in this game. I use it a lot more in Pikmin 2, because there's more reason to. For the most part, the enemies in this game aren't too dangerous. The ones that are in both 1 and 2 are more dangerous here, but the worst enemies in 2 aren't here, so it's not too bad. By the way, the gyro aiming only works when you're holding A or B. And go and whistle them and get back here. I think it's really funny when you have Pikmin in your party that don't have their onion at base. I think it looks very funny because when the day ends, the red Pikmin get whistled to the onion. Oh my god, someone tripped. The yellow Pikmin run off because their onion's elsewhere. I don't know if they actually go all the way to their onion in this scene or if they're just running off screen. But yeah. that's it for day 3. We'll go ahead and finish off the results screen and Olimar's log, and then we'll be moving on to the next episode. I love them screaming. 3 days since impact. I now add yellow Pikmin to my list of discoveries. These creatures can wield bomb rocks, so perhaps I can use them to blast down rock walls and open up new regions. Red and yellow Pikmin, as well as bomb rock carriers, break into squads when dismissed with X. If I grab one for a moment by holding A, I can swap Pikmin by then pressing R. We lost 1 Pikmin today. It's the yellow that got blown up. We're at 81 yellows, 97 reds. That's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I haven't left any Pikmin behind yet, and we already have a 1/6 of the parts. So I guess if I kept up the same pace, this would be a 6-part series. Which maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. That would be 18 days, a little longer than normal. I will be fighting every enemy. There are a few optional encounters, and I will be doing those, even if I somehow screw it up and have to do it in a different file. I will be showing all the fights. Yeah. That's it for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.